And welcome back to Gen Challenge 29 here for our farewell to Regulation F Tournament Premier Challenge. My name is Cesar Cornell, now joined by Arnie Wolf, and we have round 2 and 3 of Swiss here, and we are going to be presenting two of the most interesting trainers here today.
Yeah, this is going to be Stallfest 2024. We got Tyler DC versus Haley Aldworth, and you're going to see Tyler on the left with the Registeel, Cresselia, Heatran, Incineroar, Gastrodon, and Rillaboom, while Haley's on the right with Dragonite, Entei, Tatsugi, this curly form, Dondozo, Amoonguss, and Fluttermane. So obviously we're going to be here a while.
It depends on how long both players tend to do whatever their game plan is. Because Tyler, they have a pretty easy game plan with the Registeel here, but we seen it last week. It kind of faltered towards the end of his battle in the top 8 bracket of last week.
Yeah, see, I think what's really interesting in this situation is Registeel is not great into Dondozo because of Unaware. And so your real play there is to bring in the Gastrodon. So the question is, if you're Tyler, do you go for that knowing that obviously you have to go for an offensive move, try and force the Terra and then use Heatran, or do you just bring in Gastrodon and absorb those wave crashes? Because when you look at Haley's Dondozo, it's in a great position to start sweeping. But Tyler has so many things that can position itself. Like, you've got Tera Fairy on Registeel, so you can't get hit with an order up. Got Tera Fairy on Cresselia, got Gastrodon to absorb wave crashes, and then obviously you've got the skill swap Levitate onto Registeel so it doesn't get hit with Earthquake. So there's a lot of mind games and positioning games, and I think these leads are going to be super important, because whoever can get the first advantage in these leads is going to have an advantage for the rest of the match.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like whoever can do their deed first will be able to win this battle. You know, Tyler, they have the Registeel, obviously the Gastrodon is going to be a pivotal role here. Haley got the Dondozo here, but instead she's going to be leading the Entei Amoonguss here, while Tyler, they're going to lead Rillaboom Registeel.
I like this lead. There is one thing that's a little concerning if you're Tyler right now, and that is that Amoonguss, it does have spore potential. Plus, obviously, Entei is really good with that Sacred Fire onto either one of Tyler's Pokemon. However, I think Tyler can safely swap into Heatran. If you can predict where if they're going to go for Spore with the Amoonguss, then you can switch into Heatran, could switch into Cresselia, and which has safety goggles, and just kind of play around that. I think basically you got to base your move off of the Spore.
Ooh, there's back out into this Rocky Helmet Amoonguss, unfortunately, so we'll be taking a bit of recoil damage in return. Sacred Fire, this might finish off the Rillaboom, but it will finish it off with the Rocky Helmet. That's big damage from that. Entei, what can Registeel do here to counter? It's just an Iron Defense.
It's okay. it's not a great trade-off, because you do really want to have Rillaboom there to put pressure on Dondozo to Terra. However, I do think that it's a solid spot for Gastrodon to switch in, and then you just kind of have to... Oh, man. Cresselia, I don't blame either, because you have the safety goggles, but that Spore is looming on the Registeel, and if you can't stop it, it is going to hurt.
Okay, well, I mean, yes, it will hurt. And Tyler is quick to lock on their move for this very turn. It's just like, do you want to... I mean, yes, Body Press is not doing a whole lot of damage to the Amoonguss. That's the big problem right now. And then this Entei just did so much damage to the Rillaboom for Tyler. Oh, Crunch comes out, and that's okay damage to the Cresselia. And the skill swap goes off in the Registeel.
All right, that's definitely to avoid any potential Stomping Tantrums, Earthquakes from Dondozo.
Another Iron Defense comes out from this Registeel, and now this Amoonguss has free reign to Spore. The Registeel should choose to, but I think a big reason why Tyler's not worried about that is that they can go for Lunar Blessing later on.
Yeah, I think right now you just... If I'm not mistaken, Lunar Blessing does also wake up.
Yes, it does.
So with that,
Lunar Blessing heals 25% HP and heals all status conditions.
So there you go. At that point, you're free to just click that Body Press onto the Entei slot. The question is, now, what's the Cresselia speed tier in comparison to Registeel?
Cresselia is faster because it got the skill swap up before the Iron Defense went up for Registeel.
So with that in mind, you could just click Lunar Blessing and Body Press on the right side. I think if you're...
Ooh, Sacred Fire comes out into the Registeel. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but because it's a sleeping condition, you cannot get burned. And here's the Lunar Blessing going to heal up both these Pokemon for Tyler, and they're going to remove the sleep condition as
well, I thought Haley was going to swap on out into that Dondozo and avoid the Body Press because Dondozo's unaware, but I guess the Entei sacrifice is what Haley had in mind.
Oh, wow, one-hit knockout there for the Registeel on that Body Press here. Sludge Bomb into the Cresselia does not get a poison, so we'll get a bit of leftovers recover. Wait, Grassy Terrain recovery?
Yeah, skill swap.
Oh, right. It's lost its Levitate. I forgot about that.
So, not a bad play, to be honest. It's good.
And the Dondozo is coming out.
All right, time for Unaware Dondozo Registeel, which is kind of what we thought.
At the very least, you cannot get hit by Earthquake. At the very least.
Tyler's gonna make this play. If this plays out, this is such a good play.
You know, this is why Skill Swap's an underutilized move, you know?
It is. Cresselia is actually just an underutilized Pokemon in Reg F. I think a lot of people...
Protect comes out. Now Haley's going to be aware of it.
It's...
And Rage Powder comes out, so it wouldn't have mattered. Oh, wait, no, yeah, never mind.
Actually, that's kind of a wash for... That's kind of an advantage for Tyler because they're going to get an extra Iron Defense here, so now Body Press is going to do as much damage as possible. The question becomes now, how much does Wave Crash do? You're basically, if you're Haley, you're hoping for a crit. Otherwise, I think Tyler has positioned themselves in a way that this removing the Unaware is massive, and that's going to be able to just allow Tyler to sweep with Body Press.
Yeah, that Body Press now is at full power with that +6 special, +6 defense. Earthquake cannot touch it. You can order out the, again, attack boost, but it's going to be a while before you get to that +6 attack.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the only way that Haley can really pull this off, assuming that obviously the Unaware gets swapped, is A, you have two options. One is to just go for the Wave Crash on the Cresselia, make sure the Unaware doesn't happen, the swap with the skill swap, because you knock out the Cresselia, but I don't think Dondozo, even with Tatsugiri, is going to have enough power for that. And option two is you hope for a crit onto the Registeel. But if that doesn't happen and both of these Pokemon survive this attack from Dondozo, Tyler's going to be able to just Body Press until the win.
Yeah, and now we just gotta find out this very important question. Does a +2 Wave Crash do enough damage to knock out Cresselia? And if not, that's a lot of recoil damage because Cresselia is a high base HP Pokemon.
It's gotta be the play. You gotta get rid of one of the two, so... And I think Cresselia is definitely the call.
Oh, the Registeel is the call instead here. So is this gonna be a plus... Wow, okay, that actually does a 2-hit knockout here. But the Unaware is now swapped in with the Clear Body.
And that's what you needed, because if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be a +6 Body Press versus a +2 Defense Dondozo. That should be enough to at least get it to red.
No. Oh, okay. People forget Dondozo is a very high base defense stat.
Well, with that in mind, I think it's pretty safe to just Lunar Blessing Body Press again, and that's pretty much it. I don't think after the Unaware removal that Dondozo is going to have enough power to get rid of either one of Tyler's Pokemon.
No, because that +2, it was doing all that damage, but now that it is completely gone, and Aggressive Terrain fading away from the battlefield as well, you are just left going for Trick Room. He wants the speed control.
That's fair. Do that first, and then go for Body Press a Lunar Blessing. That way, okay, that was, yeah. But it was kind of an obvious play, because obviously Haley was going to go for a Protect, so that way you can recover more damage with the leftover, or recover more health with the leftovers. And then at that point, you have a free turn to set up speed control. Why not use it? And then you're also able to Lunar Blessing before Dondozo attacks now. And so with that in mind, you are going to be recovering at least 25% each turn before the Dondozo attack. And without Unaware, you should be able to get to full health if you're Tyler within 2 turns.
And also depending on how much damage that Wave Crash is doing, because by technicality, it's a +4 defense. And that just gives the Dondozo for Haley a little bit of a weird question, because she needs to like get enough order-ups to at least combat the damage incoming from the Dondozo with his high HP and high defense stat. The problem just becomes, well, what if you can't order up? Because one of these Pokemon for Tyler is playing Tera Fairy, and it is the Registeel.
I mean, obviously Tyler's in a very dominant position. I'm not sure I would have Terra'd right away just to save, knowing that Gastrodon's lost Pokemon in the back. I might have saved it for Poison to handle out the Amoonguss. You could, the skill swap now.
Oh no! Now the Registeel's unaware. It's unaware of the stats from the Dondozo, and it will just ignore the +2 attack. And now it just does nothing.
That was fun. Again, at this point, Lunar Blessing, Body Press. The Tera Fairy is fine. I do think like I said earlier, gotta watch out for that Amoonguss in the back. It could pull some sneaky tricks. It's still not really a huge threat, but it's something to watch out for. Regardless, though, I think the Registeel is in a position where it can just Body Press the rest of the match, because I'm pretty sure it can take 5 hits from, maybe not 5 hits from Tatsugiri, but
Ooh, Cresselia switches out.
I think this is a smart play, though, because you want to bring in the Gastrodon to at least handle the Tatsugiri once the Dondozo goes down, which is going to be either this turn or the next turn.
Yeah, and you're going to see the Registeel get a bit more leftover recovery back. Now it just comes down to whether or not Haley went for the order-up play, or you just go for the Wave Crash. It's going to get redirected into that Gastrodon. No, it's targeted at Cresselia.
It wouldn't have mattered, because I think it still goes for the Storm Drain. per
No, I
Gastrodon.
know, but like it would have redirected if it went for the Registeel stop, but that just shows you Haley wanted to hit the Cresselia there.
That's still kind of the right play. I think at this point you're just waiting on Registeel. This is another, again, speed thing, because if you can go for a Yawn, you can hit the Tatsugiri if you know you're faster. I think this Registeel is faster based on the way that Tyler is playing, but at this point, yeah, I would just kind of chip the Dondozo a little bit. There's not much you can do. Registeel is carrying this team right now.
And this will just be an unfortunate circumstance for this Dondozo, but thankfully Tatsugiri didn't get damaged.
Yeah, you know, that's the advantage of having the speed control right now, ironically. But it's an interesting case because this does force this Tatsugiri, you know, here's the thing with the Tatsugiri. Muddy Water, it's not going to hit the Gastrodon. Draco Meteor, it's not going to hit the Registeel. You have to go for Icy Wind or Memento, but I wouldn't do that in this case. I think the ideal play is to go for, I don't even know. There's no good option other than Icy Wind, but at that point, it's not doing the damage you need.
No, it is not. It's going to take Haley a lot of time to get back into this game. Conversely, though, Tyler can double protect to get rid of the Trick Room, make sure the Moongus doesn't get a Spore off. Well, would a combination of a +6 body press plus +1 Earth Power be enough to knock it out?
It should, I believe. At least when I was playing Como-O, a +6 was about 80% onto Amoonguss. So, with Rocky Helmet, it probably should be enough. But we're going to see Registeel Protect here, and that is going to prevent it.
Ooh. The Energy Ball comes out from this Amoonguss here. You know, I am actually really surprised that these Amoonguses have not been running grass moves to counteract these Terra Waters that have been popping up here and there, especially when they get popular later on in Scarlet and Violet, as we did see the choice lock for that Tatsugiri be Draco Meteor.
I think that might be the play, but it's going to be pretty difficult. The nice thing with this Amoonguss is it has Sludge Bomb. That means it can hit the Registeel. I think right now you got to go for the Yawn. Or okay, there's the Draco Meteor miss. Welcome to playing Draco Meteor. That is, unfortunately, one of the things that is really annoying.
Oh wait, that's half damage. That's a lot more than I was expecting. It. Rocky Helmet once again chipping down onto this Registeel. Yawn goes into the Amoonguss, so if it does go down to an Energy Ball, at least it got the Yawn up before anything else happened. Sludge Bomb, not enough to knock out the Registeel. Does not get a poison either.
That was kind of what we were all holding our breath for. If that was enough for a knockout, it may have been a different story, but at this point, you just go for the double protect. You could switch into Cresselia, that's also a valid option, and then just protect the Registeel, so that way you're free to body press. It goes onto the Amoonguss, it should knock out, but goes onto the Tatsugiri, should knock out. At this point, I think as long as you can keep this Registeel up for another 2 turns, you're in good shape. And the interesting part for me too is, I believe it is faster than the Amoonguss, so it doesn't necessarily matter. On
you know,
this
but Registeel was faster than Amoonguss. We saw that play out.
So there you go. And the Draco
it does land. It goes into the Cresselia. Doesn't even do half damage, and it will drop its special attack harshly right there. Sludge Bomb into the Protect once again. Cresselia kinda could. It can just go for the Lunar Blessing. Wait, I gotta check this calculation. Yeah, it's gonna survive the next one if the Lunar Blessings.
I think you're fine to just go for a Lunar Blessing and body press it. You know, body press.
Oh yeah, and Amoonguss went to sleep with the
yeah. So you know that at the end of this, you're just body press onto the Amoonguss. You could Lunar Blessing, you could attack. On Cresselia, I think if you go for an attack, it's fine because it's locked on the Draco
Do we see a critical hit here? No, we do not.
It does not matter at this point. Even if it crit, it wouldn't have mattered because as long as the Amoonguss goes down, this turn Tyler wins no matter what. And the double target onto it just to ensure the body press does enough damage is smart. And that's it. There's no way for Haley to win. This Tatsugiri is locked on a Draco Meteor, and Registeel cannot get hit from it. So Tyler is going to take game number 1.
And to think that all those skill swap shenanigans would finally come back and guide Tyler to victory. You know, we've seen skill swap in the past. I mean, most notably in 2015 during the Seniors Division Worlds Final, where it took away the Heatran Splash Fire importantly because of Mega Charizard Y, thinking, oh, I have a Levitate Heatran now. What do you make me do? Oh, wait, there's a Mega Charizard Y with Drought.
Yeah, so, you know, I think skill swap is something that is very useful on stall teams like Registeel, as we've seen. And there is that one-hit knockout. But I think right now, one thing that if I were Haley, I would be really worried about that skill swap going forward. You have a really solid play, which I'm surprised we didn't see come in, and that's Flutter Mane. Flutter Mane cannot get hit from the body press. It can get hit from a few other things like, you know, Heavy Slam, but the thing that's important is a Shadow Ball and that could do some solid damage onto Registeel. And then you can clean it up with Dondozo in the back. We saw how much damage the Registeel got down to. It got down to about 20 HP. That's without help from really much, you know? So I think at the end of this, your goal is to just not allow the Registeel to set up right away. Put pressure, offensive pressure onto it right away. Maybe spore pressure with Amoonguss, and just as long as you don't set it up, then you're good to go.
But we saw what happened when Haley tried to go for spore pressure the last thing, because Tyler, they had the Cresselia ready to go and make sure that spore pressure was just non-existent with that Lunar Blessing.
I'm wondering if Amoonguss really is not the play here, because
Yeah, I mean, it did almost nothing. Like, he almost knocked out the Registeel with that Sludge Bomb. It could have went for the knock out the Gastrodon with an Energy Ball, but the problem is just like, well, what else is it doing? Because when you tried to get the Spore off, you did, but Cresselia just ready to heal that off.
yeah, this is an interesting one. I think one thing though, that for sure is I wouldn't bring in the Dragonite onto this matchup. It doesn't really have anything that it can do to damage the Registeel, so that's one thing that makes it easier on Haley. The question is, do you bring in the Flutter Mane knowing that it can't get body pressed, or you just bring in the same 4? And that's honestly a call that could go either way.
Yeah, and going in for Haley, you know, I don't want to be one person saying this, but because this is a 3-round tournament, you gotta go almost perfect in order to top cut, because it is just the final 2 trainers that'll be into the top cut phase, and that'll be a winner-take-all for the Premier Challenge Ode to Ray F tournament. And we're seeing Tatsugiri and Amoonguss lead for Haley, a little bit of a switch-up, while Registeel and Gastrodon is also a switch-up from Tyler.
Mind games, interesting. I like the Gastrodon lead right away. I think ideally what you're gonna want to do here is possibly spore the Amoonguss, and then you can set up your body press right away. Gastrodon can go for the Yawn, Yawn onto the Amoonguss, and then after that you can protect, or maybe switch into Cresselia right now in the Registeel spot, so that way you don't get spored on that slot. Could also go into Rillaboom if you brought Rillaboom in, but
Tyler gonna have Terra.
okay, a really early Terra, and
It's gonna be the Gastrodon, it's gonna be terrestrializing into that poison type.
understandable, because that actually is not bad at all. You are no longer going to take super effective damage with an Energy Ball, which I think is what Tyler is predicting here.
Draco Meteor misses again, and it misses the Gastrodon. 2 for 2 and a straight up Draco Meteor miss on the first attempt here as Registeel gets off that Iron Defense boost. For that defense, that Muddy Water comes out onto both these resistant Pokemon. It's not going to do a whole lot of damage. Do we see an accuracy drop anywhere? It crits the Amoonguss, and it gets an accuracy drop into the Amoonguss. And the
misses.
Spore, and it missed!
Oh my goodness. The luck on that turn was some of the most I've ever seen in Pokemon. You had to hit the Muddy Water, you had to drop the accuracy and miss the Draco Meteor. Oh, it hit for once.
Okay, gets second one, but it doesn't even do half damage. And also, I wanted to point out that the Muddy Water also critically hit the Amoonguss as well, if you want to add on to the luck.
Oh my gosh, that's right, it crit.
Muddy Water, oh, he's gonna miss this time. He's gonna miss the Amoonguss.
It's okay, the crit makes up for it.
Spore goes into the Registeel, and it does land. So Registeel's gonna take a bit of a nap this turn, but it already has a +4 defense boost, and neither of these Pokemon can really do much damage now. Draco Meteor's at -2 special attack, and the Amoonguss can't really touch it.
Dude, I'm surprised we're seeing this Gastrodon stay in. I think the ideal play, at least what I thought the ideal play would be going into the Cresselia, because at that point you're free to just Lunar Blessing that turn, or skill swap, and then
Tatsugiri switches out for Haley.
I assume we're going to see the swap into Entei here.
It's Flutter Mane.
Okay, so Flutter Mane was the call.
But then but does that mean that she brought the Dondozo at all in this battle? Because I think this might warrant that she did not bring it this time, as Muddy Water connects on both of these Pokemon. It's going to do a fair amount of damage to both the Amoonguss and Flutter Mane. Flutter Mane takes an accuracy drop.
That's what you needed if you're Tyler.
And the Spore connects onto the Sprite Powder Gastrodon.
Bright Powder Gastrodon. Oh my goodness.
We saw it pop up yesterday. It's coming back to haunt Haley. At least not yet, because that was a -1 accuracy, and Bright Powder Spore into the Gastrodon connected.
You know, it's interesting.
And Rage Powder comes out to redirect.
When you're relying on sleep turns, it could go so many ways. I think it's really going to determine how many turns this Registeel stays asleep, but this Shadow Ball is going to do a decent amount of damage.
And it connects, most importantly. Registeel takes a one-turn wake-up here. Here comes a Heavy Slam into this Amoonguss. Tries to get the Heavy Slam onto this Flutter Mane, unfortunately, as it takes a Rocky Helmet damage, and Gastrodon will take its first turn of sleep as well.
I think you got to body press the Amoonguss slot.
It's understandable why you want a heavy Slam to Flutter Mane there.
Totally. But I think Amoonguss is it's a tricky situation because yeah, Cresselia swap in's not bad at all here, but Regesteel's just in a really
Flutter Mane protects here, so definitely scared of that heavy Slam. I'll say that much.
I think the body press.
Gastrodon wakes up in one turn and gets to protect.
I think the body press is the more important one onto the Amoonguss because you could take enough hits. Shadow Balls.
It's heavy Slam.
Spore incoming.
Flutter Mane's just a magnet to all attacks. Let's be honest here. Spore missed.
A Bright Powder Muddy Water combo is just absolutely going crazy right now. You have to redirect right now on the Amoonguss, otherwise it's mind games. The Flutter Mane's like, is Tyler going to heavy slam the Flutter Mane or body press the Amoonguss? One of those is definitely enough to knock out.
At +4?
Not a +4, that's true. I think it'll at least come close with Gastrodon
switching out.
With Gastrodon's Earth Power it would have been, but
instead, we're going to get Cresselia coming in here to read the Spore onto the very crippled Amoonguss with the accuracy. Still going to opt to stay in here as Registeel protects to get a bit of leftover recovery back against this Flutter Mane, which could still miss attacks as Rage Powder comes out once again for Haley's Amoonguss, seeing that it might not get much accomplished right now. Can Flutter Mane accomplish anything this turn? No, it cannot with a Protect.
You know, that was not a bad play at all. This puts so much pressure on Amoonguss right now because you can set up a Trick Room if you want. You can Lunar Blessing each turn, and we saw that the Shadow Ball did about 50 damage. That's enough where Lunar Blessing can continuously just boost. The thing with that is, though, you obviously are going to take a lot of damage from a Shadow Ball because Cresselia is weak to it. So the question now becomes, do you target and the Flutter Mane knowing it's going to attack?
And Amoonguss swaps out.
And the answer to this would be yes, absolutely do that. But I was
Entei's the last moment. There's no Dondozo to be sight for Haley.
Okay. Well, I was expecting the body press there.
Shadow Ball connects. It does connect onto this Registeel. It's going to do a decent amount of damage. That's going to under half HP, but we're going to get a quarter of that back with Lunar Blessing.
Okay, this is still a really solid position for Tyler.
And Iron Defense comes out. Now the Registeel at +6 defense.
That was so smart, anticipating the Entei swap in. That was really smart. And at this point, the question for me, though, is we saw how much it did at +2. I think it was about 50%. I don't think Shadow Ball plus Sacred Fire is going to be enough to get rid of Registeel here. So I think right now, if you're able to do that, you're free to body press into that left slot and just have fun. There's nothing that's going to take it well, including the Amoonguss, which will go down to about the red range, or 25%.
Okay, well, Cresselia doesn't want to stay in the party anytime soon. I mean, yes, you have to deal with a -1 accuracy of Flutter Mane here with the Shadow Ball. Instead, Rillaboom going to come in here with the Grassy Serene coming into play for this Registeel, trying to support it as much as it humanly can possibly do. Shadow Ball connects once again. It's yet to take a disadvantage from this accuracy shot that it took earlier, and it's almost half damage with that Shadow Ball. And Haley really wanted that Cresselia going with that crunch, and Body Press will revenge KO the Entei.
Tyler is in a heck of a position right now because I believe, depending on this Flutter Mane's bulk and its Focus Sash, this Grassy Glide should be able to pick up a KO, and then you're free to just body press. If it is the Amoonguss, it's okay because 2 body presses should be enough, and then you're in a position which was identical to last game, which is the
Amoonguss in second.
There's the Amoonguss. But I think then you're in a position identical to the last game, which is the Tatsugiri Amoonguss, and that combo is just really nice for Registeel.
It is, because it doesn't matter what you do here, because you know something's going to go down, because even though Amoonguss have that Regenerator off, it's going to get, damage pivoted by both the Gastrodon and the Cresselia in the back, especially because that Terra Poisoner Gastrodon now looks really good. As the Flutter Mane going to protect here onto the fake out, so we'll take a bit of Rocky Helmet damage in return to make sure this Amoonguss doesn't going to move off with his body press. It is not enough to knock out, but the next one will.
That was really smart. Again, Tyler is reading Haley like a book in this matchup because that Protect anticipation was huge. That is a big help because now, again, you're free to go for the Grassy Glide. I'm not entirely sure at this point if Flutter will take it. It's going to be a close one, but regardless, this Amoonguss goes down on this next turn, and if it switches in Tatsugiri, then it also goes down. You're free to body press on that slot, so do you even want to target the Rillaboom? Yeah, it's a possible one-hit KO, but if you survive the Grassy Glide, you're not hitting this Registeel, which is able to knock out the left side. So Haley's really got to choose carefully who to target.
Well, it's going to be the Grassy Glide. The Splitter Main. It is enough for the knockout.
Well, you could choose carefully, but it's not going to matter because the Grassy Glide takes it out.
Yes, it will. Body Press will knock out this Amoonguss here. And now I believe this is another checkmate position from Tyler as they have only the Tatsugiri to deal with from Haley's side, and it can only lock itself into the one move, and if it locks itself into the Muddy Water, you cannot damage the Gastrodon. If you lock yourself into Drake and Meteor, you're not really touching the Registeel all that well.
I mean, it's a 4-on-1 for Tyler right now. I think when you know, that's the downside to Tatsugiri being locked into a move. With so many diverse types, you have Poison, you have Steel, you have Grass, and then you have Psychic. There is not one move that Tatsugiri can do to hit all of them. Not to mention that Wood Hammer should be able to knock out. I think even if you go for... Okay, Grassy Glide, it's still
That's enough! Tyler DC with a 4-0 victory in K number 2 here, dominant with that Registeel.
And you know what's interesting here? Like you said earlier, you have to be have a perfect run, essentially, to enable to get into top cut, because we're only having top 2. That basically means Tyler is 1 win away from being in that top cut, and Registeel is here to play.
It is here to play, and I don't know if Haley's going to be appreciative of what transpired in this whole battle, because, yeah, it was just hard, because that game 1 got skill swapped everywhere, you know. You had the Dondozo get skill swapped, you had the Registeel get skill swapped, you had, that was the only two that got skill swapped.
The skill swap mechanics were just really well played by Tyler, knowing when to do it, and removing Unaware, which was Dondozo's biggest support against Registeel, was huge. After that, there was really nothing Haley could do with any of her 4 Pokemon.
Yeah, and now we are going to take another break here for our final round of Swiss, and we'll see if we'll see Tyler in the final. Obviously, there is a chance that if he wins, but if not, we'll see which 2 players will battle out for our final Reg F tournament.